Good evening. Not in doing what you like, but in liking what you do is the secret of happiness. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayanan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines. Health Ministry updated working hours of drive-through COVID-19 testing centers. Bahrain court rules in favor of Health Ministry in BD 32,000 unpaid salary case. Gold customers in Bahrain urged to purchase only hallmarked gold. 16 Saudi universities featuring 2023 QS World Rankings list. Federal Reserve to hike key interest rate in June and July. US lifted COVID-19 test requirement for international travel. News in detail. Health Ministry updated working hours of drive-through COVID-19 testing centers. The Ministry of Health has announced updated working hours of the drive-through COVID-19 testing centers starting from Saturday, June 11 as follows. Drive-through testing center in Muharraq near King Hamad University Hospital from 8 am to 12 pm and from 4 pm to midnight. Drive-through testing center in Awali, Southern Governorate, near the Bahrain Center for Strategic International and Energy Studies, Derasat, from 8 am to 12 pm and from 4 pm to 10 pm. Drive-through testing center in Salman City, the Northern Governorate, from 8 am to 12 pm and from 4 pm to 10 pm. Bahrain court rules in favor of Health Ministry in BD 32,000 unpaid salary case. The Second High Civil Court of Appeal annulled a court order asking the Ministry of Health to pay BD 32,000 in unpaid salaries to a part-time employee, citing a rule that forfeits any such claims not made within 5 years of their due date. The court ruled that a person's right to claim salaries and government disbursed amounts lapses 5 years after their due date, not 15 years. It is not permissible to claim them after the period unless there was a legal impediment, the court said. The plaintiff had filed a lawsuit demanding the ministry pay him BD 32,400 against unpaid salaries. Court files say the person joined the Ministry of Health more than 10 years ago as a part-timer. The current judgment rules that 9 years have passed from the date of claim and that Article 29 of 4 of the Civil Service Law requires the judiciary not to hear such cases after 5 years. The court also ordered the respondent to pay the expenses for 2 levels of litigation and BD 50 dinars towards attorney's fees. Gold customers in Bahrain urged to purchase only hallmarked gold. Customers should demand invoices on every gold purchase they make in Bahrain and turn away from unlicensed shops operating out of social media platforms, said a top Bahraini official, Abdulaziz Al-Ashraf. The Assistant Undersecretary for Control and Resources also called on the public to purchase precious metal, artifacts and satisfy Bahraini hallmarking standards. He said this during an inspection campaign held at a commercial complex in the capital governorate, where they found several unmarked gold items. We seized all illegal items and are pursuing legal action against such stores. He stressed that Bahraini jewelry enjoy unique designs and high quality, meeting internationally approved gold carat standards. Minister chaired Hub Projects board meeting. Hub Projects, the investment arm of the Hub Fund, held its board meeting online via video conference. Youth and Sports Affairs Minister Ayman bin Tawfiq Al-Moed chaired the virtual sessions and praised members' efforts to implement Hub Projects initiatives and programs. He stressed the importance of supporting Bahraini youth and promoting their projects among investors and stakeholders. The session discussed the topics on the meeting agenda, endorsed minutes of the previous meeting, and approved administrative and financial data, as well as the project's plan, performance indications, and the 2022 budget. Bahrain outlines preparation for 2022 Transforming Education Summit. A delegation representing the Ministry of Education held a webinar with UN officials and discussed aspects of joint cooperation to support Bahrain's efforts ahead of the 2022 Transforming Education Summit. The ministry's delegation was led by Dr. Sama Muhammad Al-Ajawi, Acting Assistant Undersecretary for Educational Policies and Learning, National Coordinator in charge for the national consultations in preparations for the upcoming summit. The webinar was also attended by officials representing the United Nations and its agencies, including the UNESCO, UNICEF, UNIDO, and the International Labour Organization. The national consultation set to be held this month, which represents the first step, will be followed by a preparatory meeting in June 2022, ahead of the Transforming Education Summit, scheduled to be held in September, New York, the USA. Warning of strong winds issued in Bahrain. Bahrain is bracing for another windy weekend, prompting the Directorate of Meteorology at the Transportation and Telecommunications Ministry to issue a weather warning. Strong gusts could lead to dust haze and rising sand today and tomorrow. Today's COVID updates. COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. The Indian Club Prince and Princess Contest 2022 will be held on Thursday, 16th June 2022. The details of the contest are as follows. The contest will be open to all. The contest will be held in 3 age categories: Sub-Junior 4 years to 7 years, Juniors 8 to 10 years, Seniors 11 to 14 years. An entry fee of BD 3.3 per participant will be charged for the event. Attractive prizes and cash money will be given to the winners. Last date for the registration will be on Sunday, 12th June 2022. Registration for the Prince and Princess competition can be done online by clicking the link provided in the website or by collecting the entry form from the club reception. For more details, please contact the Entertainment Secretary on 33340494 or the Assistant Entertainment Secretary on 39025573 or the Choreographer on 33381762 or the Club Reception on 17253157. Now we will be back after a very short break.
All your favorite products under one roof in Bahrain at 27-year-old Megamart and Macromart. Bakery, fresh meat and fish, fruits and vegetables, sweets and snacks, ready-to-eat foods, dairy products, grocery or consumer goods. Megamart and Macromart, full of goodness.
Welcome back. 16 Saudi universities feature in 2023 QS World Rankings list. The number of Saudi universities in the QS World University Ranking Index jumped to 16 for the year 2023, an increase by 7 universities compared to the 2019 ranking. The QS World University Ranking Index has been a growth in the number of Saudi universities included in the classification system over 5 consecutive years, starting with 9 universities in 2019. In 2020, 10 universities were listed and 11 universities in 2021, a constant increase for 3 years at a rate of 1 university per year. In 2022, 14 universities and in 2023, 16 universities were included in the ranking, with 5 universities entering the classification in the last 2 editions. With this new progress, the kingdom is 6 places away to be included in the top 100 international universities list. According to the QS World University Ranking Index, King Abdulaziz University tops the Saudi universities, followed by King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals and King Saud University. Al Faisal and Northern Border universities also entered the rankings for the first time in the ranking. A rare 5-planet lineup to be seen in night skies. 5 planets will align in a row this month for the first time in 18 years and will be visible to the naked eye around the world. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn will be lined up in their natural order from the Sun. The rare celestial event was clearly visible on June 3rd and 4th, but will be even more compelling on June 24, when the planets will appear closer together. The Al Sadim Observatory in Abu Dhabi confirmed to the National that The planetary lineup will be visible in the UAE's night skies. Federal Reserve to hike key interest rate in June and July. The US Federal Reserve will hike its key interest rate by 50 basis points in June and July, with rising chances of a similar move in September. These numbers come from a Reuters poll of economists who see no pause in rate rises until next year. Faced with inflation running at just below a 4-decade high and more tightening in the labor market, the US Federal Reserve is under pressure to quickly take its policy rate to the neutral level that neither stimulates or restricts and beyond. All economists in the Reuters poll predicted a 50 basis point federal funds rate hike to 1.25% to 1.50% on Wednesday, after a similar move last month. Another such hike was penciled in for July by most of the survey contributors. China calls COVID lab leak theory a lie after WHO report. China on Friday attacked the theory that the coronavirus pandemic may have originated as a leak from a Chinese laboratory as a politically motivated lie after the World Health Organization recommended in its strongest terms yet that a deeper probe is needed into whether a lab accident may be to blame. The Associated Press reported. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zhao Lijian also rejected accusations that China had not fully cooperated with investigators, saying it welcomed a science-based probe but rejected any political manipulation. He also reiterated calls for an investigation into highly suspicious laboratories such as Fort Detrick and the University of North Carolina in the United States, where China has suggested, without evidence, that the US was developing the coronavirus as a bioweapon. The lab leak theory is totally a lie concocted by anti-China forces for political purposes, which has nothing to do with science, Zhao said at a daily briefing. New vaccine may be optioned for troops with religious concerns. A COVID-19 vaccine that could soon win federal authorization may offer a boost for US military, an opportunity to get shots into some of the thousands of service members who have refused other coronavirus vaccines for religious reasons, the Associated Press reported. At least 175 active duty and reserve service members have already received the Novavax vaccine, some even traveling overseas at their own expense to get it. The vaccine meets Defense Department requirements because it has the World Health Organization's emergency use approval and is used in Europe and other regions. The Food and Drug Administration is considering giving its emergency use authorization in the US. The Novavax vaccine may be an acceptable option for some of the 27,000 service members who have sought religious exemptions from the mandatory vaccine. Military officials say many troops who refuse the shot cite certain COVID-19 vaccines' remote connection to abortions. UK plans to burn millions in wasted pandemic protective gear. The British government plans to burn billions of pounds in unusable personal protective equipment purchased in haste during the coronavirus pandemic, a public spending watchdog said Friday, the Associated Press reported. The idea of burning the face masks, gowns and other equipment to generate power has not impressed the watchdog committee. The panel is investigating how the government came to spend £4 billion on protective gear that has to be dumped because it is defective or does not meet UK standards. Parliament's Public Accounts Committee said the government planned to dispose of 15,000 pallets a month of the gear via a combination of recycling and burning to generate power. The costs and environmental impact of disposing of the excess and unusable PPE is unclear, the committee noted. US lifted COVID-19 test requirement for international travel. The Biden administration is lifting its requirement that international air travelers to the US take a COVID-19 test within a day before boarding their flights, easing one of the last remaining government mandates meant to contain the spread of the coronavirus. A senior administration official said Friday that the mandate will expire Sunday at 12:01 a.m. EDT, adding that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention determined it is no longer necessary. The Associated Press reported. The official, speaking on the condition of anonymity to preview the formal announcement, said that the agency would reevaluate the need for testing requirement every 90 days and that it could be reinstated in a troubling new variant emerges. The Biden administration put in place the testing requirement last year as it has moved away from restrictions that banned non-essential travel from several dozen countries, most of Europe, China, Brazil, South Africa, India and Iran, and instead focus on classifying individuals by the risk they pose to others. It was coupled with a requirement that foreign non-immigrant adults traveling to the United States need to be fully vaccinated with only limited exceptions. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I'm Vinod Narayanan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.